Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. When you're tuned in, you're with Lady Business and Give It to the People Radio, where you're going to get enlightened, enhanced, empowered, and enriched. Make sure that you always tune in to Give It to the People Radio. Hey, everybody. How are you this evening? I'm having some difficulties. My little, it's a lot going on over here in this world. But I want to say hi. Welcome to everybody this evening. I may have to move something because I'm having a difficulty. Here we go. All right, there we go. Yay. All right, so now everything is set up, and I want to welcome you guys to Give It to the People. A marvelous guest that is going to be on in a momentarily, Jacqueline. So here goes Jacqueline. Hey, girl.
Hello.
Listen, I'm sorry. We had technical difficulties out here in these internet streets tonight.
You're fine, same. And I've been set up for a good couple of hours, and it still was acting shady. So
you know what?
We gonna make it. We gonna make
That's it. This is just the devil just trying to mess it up. They don't want the two little beautiful Black queens to be on here tonight giving it to the people.
Right.
All right, so let me do my little spiel. This evening on Piece of Phoenix Brown. Give It to the People Live is one of my passion projects. We have a studio called Podbiz Studios. And last year when COVID happened, we had to transition things from the studio. And so now we do everything just on the internet, which, I mean, I guess that's how God meant it to be. But as long as we can still keep interviewing people that have great businesses, people that, to me, inspire, people that I'm inspired by, that is the thing that is key. We especially focus on Black-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, minority, nonprofits. And tonight I have Jacqueline here with me. And you know what? Let me tell you something. So we met, is it like 3 years ago or 4 years ago?
I don't remember what year, but I know exactly where we're at.
Yes. Okay. So tell them how we met in the first place.
So we met at what is it called? Dang it.
She did that.
She did that. Viewing here in Charlotte in the South End. And that's how we met. Me, you, and one other person were the three first people there.
Yeah.
Because we were trying to get there early because they gave out free jeans.
Girl, them jeans are still fitting.
Yes,
you know I got my jeans.
Right, same. I'm not giving them up regardless what size I am. Them jeans are fire. And that's how we met. And you're the reason why I actually started using my Instagram. Because I remember the three of us had exchanged handles. And you almost turned into a big sister moment and threw a little shade. Like, oh, so y'all don't use y'all Instagram. And now me and her use them. We're on there all the time because of you, that little push. So because of you, Ballin' Jacks is out here being loud and proud. So,
but you know what? And that's a wonderful thing. But that just lets you know when I meet people, I don't even ask people their names. I just start talking to people.
Right.
And then it's like you just build this rapport. And I just kind of do a takeover thing. That's just my nature. And it'll be like 30 minutes later that I'll find out what your name is. And, you know, I don't know. I was drawn to you. But let me tell you something. This is key right here, what you said, though.
Right.
You said we were the first people there.
We were.
And I'm telling you, I try to tell people, I've been telling them for years, show up and show out. Just be in place because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who you're going to meet. And then, you know, just keeping in contact over Instagram is how we were able to, because I mean, I haven't seen you since then, right?
We haven't, no.
But that's how I'm like, okay, I love what she's doing. And the thing that I like about it is, for anybody, she's one of the contributors for Give It to the People magazine also. The spring edition came out in March. I guess it's still March now. It's the last day of March. But feel free to go to my bio and click, and you can download the magazine. It's completely and totally free. So feel free to download the magazine. You can read her article. But what you do is interior design. And you don't see as many Black people, let alone Black women, doing interior design. And for me, that's a big thing that I think people really need to know about, that we need to highlight. So what I want to know before we get into all of that is, you left corporate America. What was your journey from saying, I don't want to do this anymore, to, I think I want to do that? So give us a little bit of that.
I'm still in corporate America. I live 2 lives. So I'm doing both full time. I'm still a badass engineer by day. And then at night, I switched to Ballin' Jacks. So,
I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm still doing both. Just like when I left and went to another industry and got a better job and all that.
Okay.
But since you and I had met, but I'm still doing the double life.
Okay, and you would not know it from your.
I know most people don't unless they just read the bio that's still on my website, because I put on there to let you know that this is, you know, I live a double life. I don't. Unfortunately, do not do this full time yet. See, yet I'm claiming it. But Yeah, no, I'm still living a double life. So literally I logged off at 5. I worked at 8, worked out, and then after this I'll work on ball and jacks because I got a couple projects I gotta wrap up to present next
Okay,
week.
you know what? Okay, that's even, I don't even want to necessarily say it's a better story, but so then let's pivot a little bit and talk about how are you balancing the two of those things? Because there are a lot of people who are like, look, and I know some people in particular. So just if I want to use one as an example, like Melissa that does ABL creation, she still has her day job.
Right.
And she's like, I'm not quitting my day job until this is really sustaining me. And when I met her, I thought that was really awesome because I'm just like, how do you do all of this and still work your day job? Do you, what is your routine on a regular basis, that keeps you sane, that says, okay, yes, let me do this in a day. And then I'm going to work on whatever I do that's my passion full time after I get off of work.
So I have to break everything into buckets. Even I break my 9 to 5 stuff in buckets, which now I have to be even more disciplined because we've been working from home since last March.
Okay.
So I have to put it in buckets. So right now I'm leading global projects at work, which means my 24 hours span out even longer because my team is actually 6 hours ahead of me. Right. Whoa. So my day starts hella early with my team in Poland and the UK. And then that means I get to shut off early here in the US sometimes because I do have US based projects too. But I bucket the week and how I can do it in chunks. Before, when I had an easier job where I didn't have to manage teams that large or whatever, I could literally do a 9 to 5 switch and work on ball and jacks until bedtime. But when I was doing that, I was burning out because I didn't give myself time to work out or just to sit somewhere or anything. I just shift from one laptop to the next. So now I've learned to do it in buckets. There are certain days of the week that I can't touch. Sundays, I don't work. I don't open a laptop, neither laptop. It doesn't matter if a fire happened on Saturday. If I can't finish the fire on Saturday, Jesus will have to extinguish it on Sunday, and I'll pick it up on Monday, whatever left. I had to put that boundary in there because, again, I was burning out. And then another thing, I have certain days of the month that are dedicated to like girlfriend time or, chill out time or whatever. Like my friend, she's on here. We do dinner and drag race. We're obsessed with RuPaul's Drag Race. So that's our Thursday night date that we just either order dinner or cook dinner together and watch our show. And so that means as soon as I log off 9 to 5, it's just RuPaul Drag Race the rest of the night. So that's how I've learned to keep my balance because other than that, I was just working and then I would never see anybody or even have time for myself to just chill in the tub or in the backyard, Yes. So I've just learned to put it in chunks and know that Sundays are are my boundaries. Like I don't do anything on Sundays. I don't open emails, nothing. So
no, and that's a good thing. So with you starting so early since they're overseas, what time does your day start here in the US?
6 a.m. I get up at 6 a.m., which is okay because when I didn't have that team and I was working at the facility, I would actually be at the gym at 6 a.m. So it's kind of flip-flop my schedule. Now I work out at night. If y'all see me in my stories, it's got my disco lights and stuff when I run on the treadmill at night. So I've turned into a night runner now because of that, because Poland makes me be up earlier than usual, just so it gives us more hours in the day. Because by the time I get up, they're about almost lunchtime. And we only get a couple of hours before they're gone. So that was the way I just kind of sacrificed. It's just me over here to get up early. But that means I can log off early if the U.S. projects don't have nothing special that happens. So
that's a good thing. That's reasonable because, a lot of people talk about that 5 a.m. club and talking about doing things first thing in the morning. And I get up early in the morning. That doesn't mean that I'm not talking on the phone. I'm not, doing a whole, but I am doing the things that I need to do to prepare my day. And I'll even go back to sleep if necessary. It just depends on what my day is. Because it makes things easier. So I used to feel like, oh God, I'm taking a nap. I'm not now, honey.
I live for my naps.
A nap is of life.
And I do take naps, like to split the two worlds. Like if it's a meeting heavy day. So my meeting heavy days. So that's another strategy I'll do my 9 to 5. Mondays and Fridays, I don't do meetings. I'll do meetings first thing in the morning as like touch base meetings, which are like 15 minutes with 3 teams. and Fridays are the same. And then our division just implemented this cool mandate where, like my nails, this mandate, right? I do take a nap. They do this mandate where there's no meetings after noon on Fridays because all of us are still at home a year later. And so since that, it made it easier. But when the days that are heavy meetings for me, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, I literally would log off at 5:30, go take a 30-minute nap, and then switch to ball and jacks because I have to turn one side off and the other one on. And I can't just do it by switching from a PC to a MacBook. So I have to go take a nap and pretend it's another day when I wake up.
No, but I like that. I like that because I mean, I like to definitely schedule things where it makes sense. I don't like to be on the phone every day. And I tell people, if you do as much talking as I do with classes and teaching people and being focused for an hour at a time and trying to answer questions and stuff, you do not have the desire to be on the phone like that. You know what I mean? So you have to pick and choose. This is the day that I'm going to do errands. This is the day that I'm going to do XYZ. So I used to take off on Mondays and Fridays and then just work really Tuesday through Wednesday. Now I switched it up a little bit more. And, but Fridays now are my content days. And I think that that's an important thing for us to have those barriers that we put up. But this is what I've learned, though. People want to try to take you out of the barriers sometimes because, especially if you're working at home. So this work from home life makes people think that they can just call and they can just do whatever they do all the time. And I need people to know it's hella disrespectful, one. Two, just because I'm working from home, you don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So you can't interrupt my life and just call in the middle of the day just because. So, I think that if people practice a little bit more etiquette, and really understand that working from home does mean we're working. And it doesn't mean that we have to be like sitting at the computer every second of the whole entire day.
Right.
But we know how we have to balance things out so that this way we can let our mind rest and then rejuvenate our body and be able to come back in, because how else are we going to maintain everything? And it becomes this issue when you work from home of, is this home or is this the office?
So that was my issue when we first started. At first I was like, because I'm naturally, I know it's weird, I'm about to say it, I'm naturally an introvert. So it takes a lot of energy for me to have to be around people all the time or whatever. But, so as soon as they were like, they were shutting down, everybody go home now, they ain't had to tell me but once. Laptop and battery charger was in one in the other hand. See you online in the morning or whatever. But what made it tough for me is that my creative space, this office that I made to be creative in, now turned into a 9-to-5 corporate place. So when it was time for me to switch to ball and jacks, I was struggling because it took the energy. Because every day I feel like I have to argue or prove, I work with a whole bunch of dudes. And so I feel like you have to argue or whatever to get your point across when I'm creating. It's really just a discussion amongst myself versus it has to turn into this whole political thing that it does in 9-to-5. So at first, the first 3 to 4 months were tough as I don't know what, trying to split the two, where it turned into I would work in here and this pretty space would turn into my 9-to-5, but then I'll go sit in the kitchen to try to think of a design for somebody else. Yeah, but now I finally got the coast of how to switch it because I was like, this is my space. I cannot have this turned into my employer's just because their laptop is here. So,
yeah, no, that's an important thing. So the introverts are giving you all the love right now. Just and then there was another comment that said it'd be your own husband talking about what you're doing. Listen, trust me, I know about that.
Well, I don't have that issue anymore, but I understand that. Yes, I totally get that. Yes, child.
Yeah, but okay. So now that you have this, is your job, the day job, talking about coming back in, or do you plan on being home for the foreseeable future?
They extended it through September, so I'm at least here for another 5 months.
Okay,
and they're waiting. So originally, when the world first stopped, they originally planned October. But when we had Labor Day, remember we had those spikes last year out of nowhere, and my company was like, forget that. And it was worldwide. Everybody that had a 3-day holiday in the fall or late summer, it spiked. And they was like, that's it. Y'all staying home at least to New Year. And by the time we left for Christmas break, they were like March. And by the time we came back from Christmas break, they was like, let's just wait till September. Because that's when the vaccines were starting to come out. And it was like, well, it gives us time to figure out, does the vaccines actually help us, where if we all came back, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
So,
and that makes sense.
Yeah,
well,
so
but
right
you have
now,
obviously a responsible company that you're working for that's making that decision. Because I mean, people, you know, it's a whole lot of stuff going on. And unless I'm gonna be honest, unless I have to get the vaccine to do something that I really want to do, I'm not getting the vaccine. Everybody that I see has been sick, and I know we're not here to talk about the vaccine.
No,
so I'm
but you're good.
But you know, everybody that I know that's gotten it has been sick, like sick, and I'm just like, I don't feel like going through that.
I got the first dose. I get my second dose next Friday, or next Friday, the 9th. And the only issue I had was the sore arm, like a lot of people had.
That's
and
what
I
heard.
had a good 7 hours. Like, I was just chilling on the couch, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm good. I didn't get none of the soreness or nothing. And as soon as I said it, I was like, oh.
And then it clicked in.
There it is, or whatever.
The second dose was the second dose.
That's what I went to see, But
Okay.
But
well,
for
just
me to be able to, because I'm about to have prototype builds going on for my 9 to 5, and the build room is small, and it's going to at least be 20 of us. I'm like, this man, I need more than just the mask, because not everybody. And where my company employer is sitting, they don't care about masks. It's not like Charlotte. Where Charlotte, you kind of really have to wear a mask. There, outside of the facility, they just run around like it's 2019. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get my shot and see how this goes.
But no, that makes sense. And I mean, I think each his own, do what you need to do.
I feel like it's to each his own. I don't feel like it's a one-all, cure-all answer for anybody. Everybody should do what they think is best for their body and what their spirit and whatever their doctor leads them to do. That's how I feel about it. I don't, just because I got it does not mean I'm putting it out there. Does not mean I'm pushing you to get it. And just because I got it and you did it doesn't mean I won't come hang out with you either. So I know some people are that way, and I'm like, okay.
That's true. Yeah. And I mean, you know, but this is the thing. I think that when we look at what we need to do for ourselves, we always have to make that decision as to what's going to be best for us. But let's switch topics, because you, if everybody looked at the magazine, if you didn't, don't forget, go to the link in the bio.
I told them to go on there today.
Click, get the magazine, download it so you can see some of her beautiful designs. You get on my absolute nerves, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why. Because Penny, I will click on a thing and be like, oh, I feel like I need that. And you will just put some stuff up here, and I'm just like, I think I need it. It was one thing that you posted. This must have been last year. I can't think of the name of it, but it's like the African hat that goes on the wall, and you got it for somebody.
Oh, Juju hat, yeah.
The Juju hat. And let me tell you something. When I saw that, I went to the place, I couldn't find it in the store. I go order it online, right? And they tell me, okay, it's supposed to be shipping. Then they cancel my order and give me my money back, talking about they don't have it anymore. So I was totally disgusted. You made me want that Juju hat so bad.
Where
and then
did you go?
Kirkland's, because Kirkland's was the place that had it.
Girl, go to my friend at Accent Touch. She's on Instagram. She's Black owned, and her Juju hats are legit. They're not like the, what you see at Kirkland's or whatever. Like, you could pet it and everything. Yeah. Go to her. I send her to her page after this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my girl. That's who I go for Juju hats for everybody else. Because now it's hard to get legit ones unless you're searching high and low in stores, because everybody's now making their copycats of them, but they're not the right feathers. They don't feel soft. Like, you literally can pet it as if they had just plucked it. Yeah.
Okay, but when you post some of these things, I'm just like, oh, that's nice. I could see it in my house. So what I want to know is, where are some of your favorite places to shop? Because and I know you have like a certain distance and radius that you come to. So if you can kind of let us know like where that is, if anybody's in state and they're interested, if you do go out of state. But if anybody, and you shop in some places that are in multiple states where people could find some things, where do you find some of your best inspiration from?
Weirdly, inspiration comes from random places. It could be something you have on, like your scarf on your head is giving me all kind of vibes right now, child. It comes from random stuff like that. And then my mom, she's on here. I saw her on the live. She picks on me because I have this sixth sense. Like, we could just be driving around. I'm like, can we go in that store? And I'll find something like, this is why I'm in this store. Like, I didn't know why I was called to that store, but I find stuff. And that's usually what happens. But my usual go-tos that everybody can go to kind of get cool stuff or something that's different or maybe something that can speak to them, but it's like a chain, is World Market. That's one of my favorite spots. And even if you don't buy anything there, just walking around, and their snacks are everything. Just walking around gives you vibes because it's got like a little bit of everybody's style and stuff in it, but it gives you like with a cultural or global edge to it. Unlike when you go to like Home Goods or whatever, which I love, but Home Goods can be hit or miss depending on when you hit it. But that's one of my go-tos. Now, what I also see, Mom just said hi. What I also like is that mixing up vintage stuff. And one of my favorite go-to spots is my friend Arian's shop here, Dressing Room Interiors here in Charlotte. Black-owned, woman-owned, badass. She's got that sixth sense too, but it's with vintage antique stuff or just random stuff that her shop, you walk in and be like, just take my card. I want one of everything. And with her, it's like, once it's gone, it's gone. You really can't get it again unless she uncovers it again. But don't
you love that? I live for, if it's too many on the shelf, I can't. I'm like,
yeah, correct. Exactly. I like if I take this one, the chances of me seeing it again will never happen again. And so I at least, no matter what a person's budget is for their space, I at least get one piece that's like that. Whether it's something that hones into whatever their cultural background, because I kind of figure that out during the consultation, what kind of art or what kind of vibe they like, but maybe they can't afford to do a whole Art Deco space, but we're going to get something cool and vintage and Art Deco in there. Those are those kind of places that I go to. I actually started going to Arian's shop first to even get inspiration of like, if I get this one piece, what am I going to do around this one piece? Because her shop just gets you. And
so you like to build around, you know, kind of what would be, if it were clothing for me, it would be like the statement piece. Yes. So basically you find a statement piece for the space. Right. And then build everything else around that.
Right. And the statement piece for me for a space isn't that it's the prettiest thing in the room or the coolest thing in the room. It's that it represents the most of who's going to dwell in that room. So that's my big thing. I don't like making the room to look like what I will live in, even though a lot of the spaces I've made that I'm like, I don't want to leave after I finish it. But I like making it where it looks like who actually lives there. I don't like making it to look like, oh, it looks like this part of Jackie's house versus, you know, instead of their house. So that's my goal every time. And those key pieces there is what helps do that.
Okay, now how far, because you're in Charlotte, how far do you travel radius-wise from Charlotte to do your interior decor?
I'm now working on a project in Virginia Beach, so I don't have a limit. You want me to come, pay me to come, I come, child. I don't care, right? I don't care. If the vibe is cool and the project is something I'm excited about, I don't care how far it is. We'll make it work and figure out how to make it happen. But I don't have a radius for shopping, sourcing, nor doing projects. So,
Now, have you, if a person were saying, look, I might not be able to afford you right now. I might not be able to afford an interior designer. You know what I mean? What would you suggest that they do now if they want to spruce up? What would be one of the easiest things that you would say, change this? And it can change your whole environment when you're in there. Like, what would one big thing be?
So now that it's springtime, it's easy to switch up things. So if you're not big into changing paint colors or whatever, which that's a cheap way. A can of paint is like $35. A couple rollers and call it a day. That's a cheap way. But if you don't want to know that big, just one easy way and free way to do is rearrange the room. That's one way. So I was that kid. Mom's about to say something in a minute. I was that kid. Anytime they left me in the house by myself longer than a couple of hours, I literally would rearrange the entire house. And then they would come home and be mad at me. And then they'd be like, but this feels so much better. And so that's the easiest and the cheapest way. It's free. Just rearrange your original stuff.
I love that.
And the second thing you can do that's free, edit your accessories and stuff you already have. So if you got certain tchotchkes or whatever that all of a sudden you're not feeling, don't give them away, because that one reason is the reason you bought it. Just put them in a closet, put them in a Rubbermaid bin or whatever in your garage, and just edit it. That's it. I even change accessories in my rooms all the time. So I'm sure y'all see it in the Good Morning pictures. Like, that plant was over there like 3 weeks ago, or this bookend used to be there. So I do that a lot. So that's 2 free things you could do with your existing stuff.
Okay,
now, things if you feel like spending a few dollars or whatever, go get you some throw pillows, change those out. Change your throws. I'm sure a lot of us had like faux fur or, the fall, winter kind of vibes. Change those out to lighter colors or to different fabrics that are like linens and cottons and stuff to get you all ready for spring. That kind of stuff. Change out rugs if you got a little extra money, because you can always roll up a rug and put them in the closet and switch them out.
That is true.
Switch out curtains. You already got fire rise. Just switch out the panels. If you had heavier, dark stuff in the winter, switch it to something light and airy to make you feel like you're at a beach house, since we're all going to be at home again for a while. That kind of stuff. Your outdoor furniture, same thing. Change out the pillows. If last year red was your color, but you ain't feeling it, switch it to whatever you're feeling this year, like blues or greens or whatever, which apparently is on trend because that's all I see. But those are your easy ways to switch out. The easy peasies, inexpensive ways to switch out. Now, if you feel like doing an overhaul, go ahead and paint or switch out chairs. If you got furniture that's worn out or you just not feeling anymore, donate those or sell them and get you what you want now. So there's easy ways, and then there's expensive ways you can switch out. But those are your ways to switch out. Another thing, switch out your scents. So a lot of us want heavy scents or whatever for the fall, winter. Now it's time to switch to like your linens, your citrus, or whatever for your candles or all that. Changing the mood will make you think you're in another house. So, just changing the energy in it will make you feel it.
Yeah. You right now, you don't even understand. I'm about to give you the tambourine. Yes. For all of that information. I'm going to tell you why. If you knew, so we moved into this new place in June of last year. Okay. If you knew how many times I have moved stuff around, when we do the photo shoots in here in the house, I change it around. So when my photographer comes, she's like, this is like a whole nother place.
Right.
I get bored. I'm a Gemini, right?
Got it.
Geminis get bored super quick. So if I come in and I'm not feeling it, like I have to change things around. Like the stuff that I have to wear set now, she's going to get changed very soon. Because I was just thinking, well, it's April. Let me move her around. And I was like, I realized for me, I always like the same things, but then they're in different ways of the same things. Yep. So for me, that's an easy thing when it comes to like, I just want to feel different, and I was even contemplating moving my TV from one side to the other side, but it's certain things that kind of stay in a place and then other things that just move around and it feels totally, completely different to me. And I love that feeling now. Okay. Yes, so this one right here. When we talk about that, so now we can move, we know what we can do to make some adjustments. But one thing that a lot of people don't seem to focus on that I typically love is artwork. Yes. So what would you suggest for somebody if they want to either get into art or they want to change out their artwork? Because for me, I think that the artwork can totally change the feel of the room also. So even if you have the same things, is there a place that you go to get artwork? Because I want to tell everybody my tip, but I want to see what you have to say first, because it's a specific 2 places that I love to go to get artwork, but I want to see what you have to say about that.
So it depends. So for original artwork, I have my faves and some of them are on here. Like she just tagged Frankie Zombie. That's one of my favorites. I can't wait for him to paint whatever I got to paint from in my forever house. Ladera is on here. That's another original. I love color. So who I'm going to scream to you, let me take it back. Me personally, my favorite art pieces are anything that's bold and colorful, anything that represents any of my cultural backgrounds. Or anything that moves me, because sometimes I get art pieces and I'm like, I don't know why I like this, but I'm getting it.
But you feel it. Yeah.
Right. Like I got artwork literally in my gym because I like art while I work out. Don't ask me why, but I do. I like artwork when I work out. So go back, if those original ones, follow your original artist, hashtag Black artists or whatever you feel abstract. Because even every time I use an abstract art piece, I use that hashtag so people can find other artists.
Okay, love
But for
that.
those budgets that cannot afford original artists, because please don't go to original artists thinking you're gonna pay $19.99. Please don't
But a lot of
do it.
original artists now, though, are actually making prints of their
That's what
work
I'm about
too.
to say. They're making
Okay.
prints. So that's an awesome alternative if you want a lovely Ladara original or a Frankie Zombie original, if they got a print version of it, and get it framed in something fire. And then it'll look like something substantial. Even if you bought only a 12 by 16, get them matted and frame something as big as you wish you could have bought of the original, and it'll be
Love
just
that.
as fire. But for those that love to peruse the stores and your chains, one of my favorite to go to is At Home. They have so many options for artwork. They have so many options, so many price points, so many sizes. You can get artwork from like a 2x2 to like 48 by 60. Like, it's ridiculous. And so if you're like into like my gallery wall behind me is a mixture of original artists. My mom did this one.
Okay.
This one actually, yeah, she made me into Shuri because I am an engineer. So she made me into Shuri one Christmas. And then this one actually was from At Home. And then some of them, like you said,
now just that's why we can't really see all of that.
I know,
like,
hold on, I'm gonna move my phone.
we can only see like a little piece. Okay, so I see the Frida Kahlo. I see Great Stone.
I actually got from At Home. But it's like an original on top of a print, so it was a little bit more costly, but not as costly if I've got original Frida. These are of artists, but I couldn't afford the original. Like you said, get prints. I got prints, and I put them in frames that make them look like they're canvases. I found these artists on Etsy, so that's a good another spot to find art and original arts. And this one's actually my line sister, so that's a real picture. And then on this side, I got a replica of
Michelle Obama, yeah.
And then, of course, I have my RuPaul up here.
Okay.
And then I have my girl.
Is that Wonder Woman?
Yes, that's my favorite superhero of all time. Yes. I mean, I love Shuri because that's really my life, but Wonder Woman is my chick. And then, of course, I got Miss Eartha Kitt up there.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I love that. Now, you took one of my spots that I was going to say for people. So from my recommendations.
What was yours?
Etsy was definitely going to be one of them because two of my biggest pieces, and I'm probably getting ready to blow another one up and make it really ridiculous. I got those from Etsy. And what happened was my friend was like, listen, you're moving in. So she was like, okay, well, it's your birthday, but you're moving too. So she was like, look, I found something that's your style. And I found a couple of things. So she sent me a couple of links to Etsy. And she was like, just as she sent me some money in Cash App. She was like, girl, go ahead, go crazy, go buy what you want. So I found an artist, or a couple of them that I liked on Etsy, and I bought some artwork. Now, this is the thing, though, that I want to tell people. When you buy on Etsy, oftentimes you're buying the digital download. So then you take it and you go get it printed, and if you want to get it matted and all the rest of that. Right. So what I did was I got it printed to the size that I wanted, and then went ahead and I put everything in black frames just because all of my artwork is really bright. Yeah. So I wanted black frames for what I did. And I have one that's in a gold frame, but she's meant to be a standout. So I did that. My second place that I was going to tell people that they can go, because my other art piece that I really love that's in here is from Society 6. So it's SOCI project. Yeah. And the number 6.com. When I'm telling you, it's amazing artists that are on Society 6. There are a whole bunch of Black artists that are on there, you can find something that resonates with you. And so it was the same thing, except for Society 6, they sent me the prints. And they can do prints, and they can do canvas, and they can print on all kinds of different stuff. So those are my two places that I would recommend for people to get artwork. But the thing that's great about artwork is if you put it in a frame, you can put another thing right over top of it when you get bored. You don't have to throw it out, and you just change it, or you could just change the frame, and then you can make something new. And what do you think about people making their own art, though, to go in their spaces? Have you encouraged?
I was about to say that. So I've had a lot of pieces or canvases that were, from At Home or whatever, but I don't like it anymore, or it's not my vibe anymore. I learned this from the trick from my mom. She's an artist. Whenever she did a painting and she wasn't feeling it anymore, she just white out the canvas. So just paint it all white, and you got a white canvas all over again, and do what you want on top of it. So you don't have to go buy another canvas. You bought this, say 24 by 36. It was somebody else art wrapped on it, but it was only like $25.
Yeah.
Just white it out, paint over it white or whatever background, and just paint your whatever you want. No, the rules are, let me tell you this. Design, the rules are, there are no rules. You do what you love. You don't have to explain it to anybody why you love it. If you love it, just put it on your wall, put it on your bed, put it on your floor, whatever. Love it. Just like one of my friends came on here and was like, why do y'all karate chop pillows? Like, am I supposed to karate chop pillows? I'm like, there is no supposed. You do what you want. Sometimes the pillow screams to be chopped, and other times you just throw it there. But the rules are, there really are no rules. Whatever you love, and especially with art, it really is no rules. Everybody likes something different, and you're not designing your spaces for other people to enjoy it. That's not the joy. Unless you're running an Airbnb or a hotel out your house, it's not for other people. It's for you. So just
now, I was actually going to ask you about that, because I have an affinity for Airbnbs. One, I have a friend that has an Airbnb, and one of the things that I think is, if you're going to do something like that, you want it to sell. You want it to scream to people, come stay here.
Right.
This is it. And the thing that always is, two things that always make me want to stay at an Airbnb. It is the bed linens. Okay.
Yes, every time.
Do not give me that old school burgundy and green. You know what I'm talking about.
Shut up with the diamonds.
Do not get, if I see that on your bed, I cannot stay there.
I can't
you
deal with the bed spread or a quilt.
Your stuff in years if that's the bed spread.
I want to duvet.
Look, but in the one and it matches the remember, like back in the day, I can't stay there because I know you haven't changed your linens in how long. I don't even know how often you wash your stuff, if that's what you're putting out.
I agree. Right.
I look at that and I'm just like, I am appalled. I don't even believe you're listing this. This is ridiculous. So the bed linens is definitely a thing. The artwork pulls me in a lot of times with people, but often it is the pops of color. So for people who are like scared of color, what would be your thing for them if you pick like one or two things? What should they do to bring color in? Because it's a lot of people that are your basic gray. They got the black couch. They have the tan, white. So they're so used to a neutral palette that they get really scared of color. What would you suggest for them to pull out to get that color into their homes?
The accessories and the art. And so when you're tired of it, or it's no longer your color or whatever, those are easy to switch out. Instead of committing to paint or wallpaper or a huge rug or whatever that you have to be like, oh, I have this huge red rug. Where is it going? My house is pretty neutral, to be weird. I know I do bold colors on everybody else, but I like colors everywhere else because I'm not a Gemini, but I do like change. So my big pieces are all neutrals now that I think about it. Yeah, they all are. They're either blacks or whites or leather for the big stuff. But I layer the colors. Like you saw, my gallery wall is nothing but a wall of color. All the accessories on my shelving over here, open shelving, is all colors. And it's like that throughout the house. So that's my thing. So yeah, that's how you can sprinkle your colors in those things. Maybe get cool lamps that are colors. Maybe the shades are neutral, but the lamp bodies can be funky colors. And again, if you're tired of it, you can switch it out, or you can paint the body. Spray paint is a hell of a thing. It's addictive.
Because I was going to ask you about spray paint. I mean,
Girl,
I see all the time.
Certain favorite colors in my garage all the time.
For your clients, so do you do like, okay, look, I see you like this, but let me spray paint it, and then it has a totally different feel?
Yeah, I do. Especially one can. There's another designer friend that she just fell in love with the same matte black. I think it's Rust-Oleum recently because they had just bought outdoor furniture last year, but it was the chocolate brown, and she's like, I really want black. And her husband was not feeling buying a whole new set just for it to be black. So she did the spray paint. And I was like, yeah, I keep those cans. And I showed her a picture. I got 12 cans in the garage ready. The Virginia Beach project I worked on, the the stools she really loved did not come in black, and they're all metal. Like it's an industrial type condo we're doing.
Yeah.
But they only came in gray. By the time we were ready, they only came in gray, and because of COVID and stuff, they couldn't replenish them. And I was like, give me the gray ones, and I spray paint them, and child, we're fine. And that's the other part. Certain colors look expensive no matter what you did, whether it was a custom thing or you spray painted it or had somebody powder coat it. Matte black is one of those. That if you bought it in a color and you just not feeling it, or it just don't look like you spent a lot on it, paint it black. Black is the one thing that makes everything look expensive, whether you spent IKEA money on it. Black is everything. You see this?
Black people.
Black.
Black people, you know,
right?
Yeah.
Just put a little black
I know
on
what you mean.
It raised the value real quick. That's a trick. Always spray paint. I remember my first project I did for a friend's nursery. The mirror was freaking perfect, but I did not want a pink mirror in this pink nursery, and I had this perfect gold paint. So I do have my favorite gold and my favorite black spray paint, and it made it epic. It made it look like I paid $800 for that mirror and only paid $25.
Mirrors are expensive things.
They are. They truly are.
I have looked and like if you want the freestanding mirrors, they are really expensive. And I don't need a freestanding one. So, you know, for the most part. So I have the one because I was just like, okay, I want one in each one of the bathrooms. And, you know, so I have the ones that go over the door and it works out perfectly for me. But freestanding mirrors, especially the really, really nice ones, are a couple $100s. And I'm just like, is it just me? Like, I'm like, it's just a mirror. You know what I mean? So it's certain things that I'm like, I'd spend more money on a couch or a really nice chair than to just have a mirror. But I noticed that a lot of people are, maybe it's the trend where they're getting big mirrors because how they're using it with social media. You know, that could be one of the things. So I don't know. Things are just, people buy what they want and they invest in what they want. They're going to spend on the things that they want. But that's one of the things that I would say is expensive. Is there anything else that is like when you're designing, you have to tell people up front, look, this is not going to be cheap because you want this kind of thing. What's one of those really expensive things?
I give you all the real tea during consultations. Like there'll be some people be like, this isn't going to be that much, is it? I'm like, what do you want it from? Let me help you with that. If you want it to look like IKEA, we can do IKEA, but it's going to look like IKEA. And that's not the point of you hiring a designer. Why would you hire a designer just for it to look like IKEA's show floor, you know, or whatever? But you have brought up a good point of how to budget, though. If it's a space that we have to buy furniture that actually is going to take wear and tear, that's the majority of the budget's going to go. Because I'm not buying no rinky-dink sofa just so we can have a $1,500 wallpaper. I'm not doing it. If your budget does not allow it, then we're going to make something epic with the big furniture and then do what we can with the paint. Because paint is cheap and paint is transformational by itself. But I'm not going to blow your budget on wallpaper. Just because it's the wallpaper of my dreams and maybe your dreams, but the budget is we're not sitting in on the floor of this lovely wallpaper room. So that's how I break down the realistic expectations in a consultation of once I realize how they want to use the space, what they expect out of the space, then I kind of break down like, this is the ballpark, like real talk. This is probably the least I could spend in this space and it be something you actually want to be in, it's functional and it'll last versus, everybody can throw a quick design, but what's the point if you're going to have to redesign it next year because everything fell apart? So
that is very true.
Yeah, so you have to weigh what's your expectations versus what's your budget, and we're a way to help you with that. That's what's great about consultations. You don't have to always book us for a full project. You can just book us to pick our brains in your house and give you ideas. Like my consultations are 2 hours, and then you also get a mood board out of it of visuals of the solutions I'm thinking of that should go in your house to fix whatever issues. It's not like I sourced them, so it's not like this is the exact couch or whatever, but this is like the ideas. I'm saying do this on this wall or whatever. So you can at least walk away with that.
Does this mean, because it sounds like it, but I just want to be clear,
Yeah.
because I know, like, even when we talk with Paris JL and she does virtual consultations, do you do a virtual where a person can kind of show you their area?
I've
And
done it and I don't like them. And this is why
okay,
I don't. This is me personally. I don't say they don't work, but for me personally, it's tough because I gotta feel the space and
you
I
need to
need
be
to
in
feel
it.
your energy. You can tell me all day or send me Pinterest pictures and say I love this, but if all I can see is this much of your face and not your body language and stuff, I really can't figure out if that's what you really love, or is it that you just like it because it's on trend? Because my goal is not just to make it trendy. My goal is to make the space look and feel like you. Or when you come home, you don't have to feel like you got to play pretend anymore. And that's really for us Black and brown people. Those
That's
are
a
the ones I
word.
take the most sensitive because we have to play pretend for so long that as soon as you cross your threshold in your garage or your front door, that should be the place that your hair comes down, your curls pop out, whatever, your accents come out, all that. You should not have to feel like you got to play pretend in your own house. So
I
that's
love
my
it.
goal. So when I tried to start doing virtual when we first started COVID, I think I did 2 and I said, I can't do it anymore. It's just not the same. Unless it was like with you, I probably could because we know each other. But if it's
Yeah.
with somebody I really don't know, it really sucks for me. Like I don't even be in the same mood. Like right now, I'm all passionate with my hands and stuff. I don't even be the same way because I'm all on this little screen or even on my
Trying to
MacBook.
look.
I'm just like, can you move to the left? Can you move to the right? Can you show me the ceiling? Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a feel of it by doing like a 360 real quick, and I hate it. I hated it. I just did not like it. It's not the
Listen,
same.
that's good.
I can't feel it. It's a
No, but it's
feeling with
just
it.
like whenever I've looked for, like, you know how they do the 360 things and you can look for apartments and stuff like that. You can look for houses and you look, and I'm just like, I need to go there because I need to feel it. Like,
Yes.
I see this, I see you telling me how big this wall is, how long such and such is,
Right.
but I need to see myself in it. And one of the things that I could say about once we came in here, we moved to a larger space.
Mm-hmm.
And my biggest thing was I want to walk in and I want it to feel like a magazine, but I want it to be comfortable. I wanted to like a magazine / a hotel, but I wanted it to be me. So when my friend walked in, she came up with this name. She was like, girl, this is an Afro bohemian modernistic. And I was just like, thank you.
Thank you. Right? That's what you're doing.
Thanks. That's what I wanted. I was going for that feel. Like my husband, when his parents came, they were just like, this feels like a hotel. This is nice. And I was just like, thank you. But I think that the biggest thing was I needed to feel it. And when my husband came in for the first time, I had told him about where we live now for about a year. He never came. The schedule didn't work out. And then when we decided that we were going to move, I was like, listen, we got a couple places we can look at, but I'm telling you, you're going to really love this. And when he walked in, he was like, yeah, I like it. And I'm just like, but let me tell you my vision and how I want to do things. And I didn't want to have a whole bunch of furniture because I wanted to be able to move stuff around. It's only 2 of us, so I didn't feel like I needed as much stuff. And I knew I was going to be working from home. So I wanted to be able to move things around where they were functional and they could be multifaceted. So when people come over, the desk that I use, it could be a table because it's actually a table.
Cool.
And then when I use it, it's a desk. But what I knew about this, so this is what I want you to tell the people. I know I am a hoarder and a messy Jessie. I'm going to just be
Jesus.
honest. Okay?
Oh, I would have never known. Right.
Okay. But let me tell you, okay? All right. Don't judge, but you probably figure what I hoard.
Mm-hmm.
I hoard clothes. I have a whole bunch of clothes, shoes. It's ridiculous. It's the levels.
That I believe of you. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I hoard. But everything else, I want to be nice and neat, and I want it to have a place because I have been the person who kept everything organized, and then I have been the person who just let everything go to shit, and then I'm just like, okay, no, we can't do this anymore. I want everything to have a place. I want to know where stuff is. I want to be able to walk in, and a person could come in at any time of the day, and everything looks nice and neat. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted that for myself. And for me, that was like mine. And I kept telling everybody mental wealth. part of me having a wealthy mindset meant that I needed to have a place that was organized for me because it makes me more comfortable when I don't have to come into calamity. And I know what it is to live in calamity because maybe you don't care as much. And then once you get to the point where it's just like, no, I really care about my space, I think that you keep it clean and you keep it nice and neat. So the fact that my husband is a little bit OCD and cleans everything ridiculously, like if it's a spot on the floor, he'd be like, it's a, like, I use my notebooks. Let me just show you. I write in notebooks all the time, right? So when you pull the little notebook, you know how you have this little teeny weeny piece? He looks and he be like, what is that on the floor? Boop. And he picks it up and he gets it. He don't play them games. And me, I just be like, I'm just going to get it later. He be like, get that little piece of paper. And he just gets it. So my thing is, I think that, and you tell me, because I feel like part of what you do is mental wealth. And, you know, the thing for people that don't know, when I say mental wealth, it's the things that make you feel good and feel wealthy. It's not about money, right? Even though money can be a part of it. If you got money, you know, that's there. But it's that peace of mind that you give yourself whenever you get to a certain point where you appreciate the things that you have. And it could be something really simple, you know, as, you know, me being able to move in my space the way that I want to move. You know, me being able to take a nap in the middle of the day, that's mental wealth. Me being able to have a juicy beverage when I feel like it. Like I got some pineapple that I'm going to kill. Fresh pineapple.
Girl, I've been killing mine for the past 2 days, right?
Pineapple's my favorite fruit. I live for some pineapple. So it's like, that's wealthy. That's wealthy chic to me. So that's why I'm like, can you, when you leave, because I know you don't want to leave every space that you're in, but do people give you that sense that what you just did made them feel mentally wealthy?
Yes, that's why I keep going. Other than that, I would have quit a long time ago because it's a lot of work. It's not, I wish it was just the fun part we all see, but it's a lot of work and it's people's stuff and stuff don't come how it's supposed to come or comes broken or don't show up or people don't show. There's a lot of drama behind it that we have to kind of act like ducks and just let the water fall off our backs. But yes, that's my, every time, even the projects that I was like, why did I sign up for this? At the end, every time when I leave their house, and I usually give them a follow-up call like 2 days after to make sure everything is still, like they still feeling it or whatever. And the last office I did, the one you want to steal the chandelier out of.
Yeah. Give me that.
She texted me 2 hours later. She's like, I'm still sitting in my office. I still haven't left. I've been sitting here just looking out the window. And I'm like, what? She's like, I love it in here. I don't want to leave. And I'm like, there's my why. And every time it's like that. Lexa, who's on here preaching down there, it was the same with her office. She never had a full office space. And then, now it's fully hers and fully.
But it increases productivity. I think it decreases your blood pressure. You know, I think that it's like when you walk in and because when you think about it, when you go to a really nice hotel, you like, oh, this is nice.
Child,
you know what I mean?
Get room service and don't leave.
And that's how you want to feel. And that's one of the reasons why I don't really like to leave my house now, because I'm like,
same.
You know, like it's really nice here, you know, and so that's why, you know, I think, you know, that's an important factor for me. All right. So I know we got to wrap up really soon, but what advice do you want to leave to people who might be interested in having you come? And because one of the things, your article was about putting you in your space, right? So if they want to hire you so that this way they can get themselves in their space, what advice would you give to them so that this way they know that they can contact you, they know where to find you, give them all of those details?
Well, you can harass me right here on IG or Facebook. I'm not one of those people that don't accept DMs. I do. I accept everybody's DMs.
I do too.
So you can do that. I'm not one of those, but I do have a whole website. I'm legit. You can go on there. There's a whole way you can fill out the whole thing, and it can already tell me what your budget or what you're feeling or what you need help with. Or if you don't even know, we can just start off. And then from there, I hit you up with an email so we can schedule an introductory call. And those are completely free. They're 15 minutes is where we can feel each other's energy. Because sometimes if our energies don't vibe or you're not feeling me or whatever, we can just cut off there. Nothing, no harm, no foul. But that's where I get an idea of like, what are you struggling with? Or What's your personality like? What's your house like? That kind of stuff. And then if we decide it's a cool joint venture, we should go further, then that's when we do the consultation fund.
Okay.
And then from there, like I said, I do those in-house. I can't do virtual. I tried. I failed. But in-house, and with that, that's what you go through the space and you tell me what are your issues and what do you want it to feel like, or what is your vibe. And usually I have you take me around your whole house because I get clues from random stuff through your house. Your house could be raggedy to you, but there'll be certain hints along the way that I'm like, oh, she's feeling that, or she's feeling this, or whatever. But yeah, I ask you to take me around random places, wherever you're comfortable with. If you want me to see your walk-in closet, to give me an idea of what kind of clothes and stuff you like, that kind of stuff, cool. But just to see what your vibe is naturally and how I can spin it. And then I measure the space and all that fun stuff. But more important out of it is me trying to figure out what you actually want out of the space, what your vibe and personality is like, because that has to be in the space. It shouldn't be my personality. And what's your quirks? What's your do nots, must nots, because people have their own boundaries and I want to make sure I don't cross those boundaries or trigger anything. So that stuff comes out. And then from there, I suggest which service would fit you best. If it's something that is a quick turnaround, like you just need, like we were talking about, like zhuzhing up, like changing your own existing accessories and stuff, that's an hourly thing. But if it's something that we're about to transform this space completely, that of course would be a full service design. But we offer different services at different levels depending on what the project scope would make sense. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I love that. What's the website though? Tell them the website.
It is at ballandjacksdesigns.com is our website. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I have her tagged up in the top. So this way you can go ahead and you can click and you can follow Jacqueline, so that this way you can see all of the beautiful things that she does. And, I'm really excited about, the fact that the world is opening back up. I'm excited about spring because I opened up my porch door today and just the air just blew through and it felt nice.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that, but I'm also excited about staying home. It's just like,
same.
Yes, just stay home. So I'm just contemplating, okay, well, am I going to change? What do I want to change? I think I might want to go slightly brighter. I still try to stay in the same thing, but I might want to just go a little bit brighter. So we'll see what little changes and stuff that I do. But for the most part, it's comfortable. It feels good. And it makes me feel good to come into a lovely, clean, place that makes me happy. And I don't think people realize, and they should, especially with everything that happened with COVID, how much your place affects your mental health.
It's an investment. I think most people look at their houses as an investment for your bank, but it's an investment for your emotional stability as well. Yes, it's great that you are blessed to have a place that has a deadbolt and you feel safe when you go in there. But if you still don't feel like yourself when you're home, you paying a mortgage or a rent for no darn reason. It's like you might as well live in a storage container at that point. Put something in there that's you in the space. Doesn't mean you have to do a whole transformation, but something that every time you walk down that hallway or walk in your bedroom, you're like, oh, Jesus, I'm home. Praise the Lord. Something. Just something. It doesn't have to be something miraculous. It doesn't have to be a whole HGTV thing. Just make sure you have these pockets or something that every time you go to the stove or every time you go get your coffee off the Keurig, you got your favorite, like the mugs are the highlight of your day. It just something small or something big that it just makes you like, I am home. It is you. It is yours. And yes, that's life. Right.
Hold up. So she said, put the tambourine back out. And first of all, ma'am, I was going to bring the tambourine back out anyway, but I love the fact that you just prompted me to bring the tambourine out. And because of that, I'm not going to forget that you said sledgehammer time too. I saw that in there.
Yeah, right. So we actually did a sledgehammer thing with Lexa's office. So her office used to be shared with her husband. Her ex-husband. And so to get rid of their old desk that was in there, she was like, can we do a sledgehammer thing? So I recorded and everything, and she got annihilated in a bunch of pieces. And then her new beautiful desk came in right after. It was fun.
That was perfect then. That was
Yeah.
perfect. Well, Jacqueline, thank you so much for being on this evening. I appreciate it. I love your article. We'll be doing another issue and Give It to the People for the summertime.
Awesome.
So we'll have that one coming out in the summertime, and I just appreciate it, and I love being able to share your story, and for you to be able to share your story with everybody else. So everybody, if you missed it, please go to the link in my bio, download the Give It to the People magazine. Jacqueline's story is in there, as well as a whole bunch of other great Black businesses. Next week we're going to have who are we having next week? Hold on, let me look at the list. Next week it is going to be Jasmine Beard of A Joy Consultants, so she'll be joining us next week. We do this every Wednesday at what time? 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join us back here next week, Wednesday, for another edition of Give It to the People Live. And at the end, make sure that you always show up and show out and continue to give it to the people.
Amen. I need a tambourine now, child.
You need a tambourine, yes. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Give It to the People Radio. Make sure that you follow us online at ladybusiness.com, LadyBizness. We look forward to helping you grow, sustain, and maintain your business.